Senator Duckworth, thank you for your leadership on the subcommittee.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for holding today's hearing. The recent CTAC cyber attacks on CTAC is a real chilling reminder of the grave and growing risk to our nation's aviation system in cyberspace. These types of cyber attacks are serious crimes with serious implications that go far beyond mere passenger inconvenience. The source of the attacks, this most recent attacks, the Reseda ransomware, is an entity that is rumored to be based in Russia or within its sphere of influence. Reseda has been associated with attacks on the British Library as well as government institutions in Portugal, Chile, and Kuwait. It has also claimed responsibility for an attack on Prospect Medical Holdings here in the US. And this raises questions about national security. This is also not the first time a United States airport has been attacked, and in 2022, a pro-Russian hacker group that called itself KillNet orchestrated an attack on a dozen US airports, including LAX, Atlanta, LaGuardia, and both of the airports in Chicago, O'Hare, and Midway. And while thankfully the 2022 attack did not disrupt operations, we can't count on that always being the case. Attackers also target sensitive personal information. The cyber criminals behind the CTAC attack recently posted a ransom demand of almost $6 million, in which they threatened to sell stolen PII, like scanned US passports and forms with our social security numbers. Worldwide aviation cyber attacks increased 24% in the first half of 2023, and they are ongoing. And just in the last 30 days, the city of Chicago's flychicago.com website blocked 1.09 million malicious site requests. Mr. Little, what more should the federal government be doing to help airports harden their cybersecurity to protect against threats from foreign actors?
Senator, the aviation industry is required, for example, to submit the CIPs that was mentioned and the assessment plans, security improvement plans and assessment plans. And all airports are required to submit this. One way that we could help is if the TSA and CISA consolidate this information, comes up with best practices, and actually disseminate it back to the aviation industry. Currently, it's a one-way street that we're sending the information, but we're not getting back in a timely enough manner recommendations of how to improve our infrastructure. That would make a major difference.
Thank you. General Reynolds, I thank you for your service, and I couldn't agree with you more about the challenges of finding IT professionals who both know cyber and also aviation. What more should the federal government be doing to help airlines harden their cybersecurity to protect against threats from foreign actors, especially since so many of them are get maintenance overseas as well?
Senator, thank you, and thank you for your service as well. Thank you. I think I'll start with the 2 points I made earlier, which is first on harmonization. The fewer incident reporting requirements that we have, the better for us, so we don't spend all our time worrying about compliance, and more importantly, we want to make sure the information is going to the right places at the right time. The second part is on the information sharing. The improving information sharing, not just amongst ourselves in the industry side, but amongst the federal agencies and with each other. The better we can do that at the speed of relevance, the better we all are going to be. Our programs rely on making sure we can stay ahead of the threat actors, and that information sharing is key to it.
Are there any additional vulnerabilities with foreign national airlines? So, you know, because they're still accessing our systems. They're in partnerships with American Airlines, the Star Alliance, and all of these other, alliances. Are there vulnerabilities there?
Ma'am, I wouldn't want to talk, if there were, I wouldn't want to talk about the vulnerabilities specifically, but I will say our programs are threat-based and risk-informed, which means we do the analysis on anytime a system is connected or we share data amongst one another, we do that analysis to make sure the threats are known and they're minimized, in fact, to the 0 point if we can. I'm not an expert on the international carriers and what their exact systems are and the vulnerabilities, and I can certainly circle back and provide more information for you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm a pilot myself, and I know that, the basic thing in aviation safety is you should never be left to a single point of failure in any aviation system, and that redundancy saves lives. When Boeing left a safety-critical system on the 737 MAX depended on a single angle of attack sensor, 2 flights crashed, killing 346 people. So when I see the NOTAM system knocked out by an accidental file deletion, and so much of the aviation system knocked out by a CrowdStrike software update, that really worries me. That's a single point of failure, and we don't want that. So to protect better protect our aviation systems from cyber attacks, I believe we need to improve both redundancy and resiliency, and each of you have spoken to this. But Mr. Little, I just want to give you a little more time. How can airports, airlines, and the federal government work better together to help improve the redundancy and the resiliency in our aviation systems computer networks?
Yeah, I think we have to do far more information sharing. We can always learn from each other. Airports can learn from other airports, and we can also learn from the TSA and CISA in terms of information that they're gathering and threats that they're seeing out there, and share this information immediately with the aviation industry. Airports in general have very robust cybersecurity, but nothing is impenetrable. Nothing is 100% secure. So if we can actually learn, each airport can learn from each other, and I think the consolidation point TSA, and that because we're required to submit all of these plans to the TSA and to CISA, I think if they consolidate this information, come up with a recommendation and standards in a much more timely manner, and disseminate back that to the aviation industry so that we can continuously improve our cybersecurity defenses, I think that would go a long way.
Thank you. And you're
Thank you.
back.
Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did have a couple of questions, but first I wanted to sort of make